I'm going to call the meeting to order and ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Little. Councilmember Sander is absent at this time. Councilmember Budge.
Here.
Vice Mayor Gatewood.
Yep.
Mayor Pulapati.
Here. I'm going to ask the city clerk to announce the meeting video recording and playback schedule.
The meeting of the Rancho Cordova City Council is recorded with closed captioning. The recording will be cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. The recording will also be video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay on Wednesday, June 4th at 7 p.m. and Thursday, June 5th at 7 p.m. on Metro Cable 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting will be viewed on demand at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14 and on the City of Rancho Cordova's website.
Thank you. I will ask our city manager, David Kwong, to lead the pledge. And then I invite Dr. Dan DeShong with the River City Christian Church to give invocation, and I ask the audience to remain standing.
Thank you. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your head and pray. We are grateful to live in a country where we can openly pray for our leaders, no matter our denomination, our faith, or our religion. One of Paul's very first instructions to his protege Timothy in Scripture was to pray for kings and all of those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. Paul's message is as relevant now as it was when the church was first formed. We thank you, Lord, for the legacy this city has built, all of the staff, all the city leaders, and how through the dedication of this leadership has made a grand difference, not only in our city, but around the country. Dear God, we only have one lifetime to honor you and to serve others. Please make us worthy of this call. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Thank you, Dr. Dan. Now we move on to presentations, and we will start with the fifth grade class presentation from Jennifer Newenfield from Rancho Cordova Elementary School.
Good evening. We are on summer vacation. Yay! So we have a couple of students with us that will be joining us here in just a second. I'm Jennifer Newenfeld, a fifth grade teacher at Rancho Cordova Elementary.
I'm Frances Myatt, the other fifth grade teacher at Rancho Cordova Elementary.
And we're here to show you some pictures from our trip to Sly Park this year that you helped us pay for. So let me click, hopefully. There it goes. I'm skipping a couple things. All right, so some of the activities that we took part in was hiking through the children's forest, where we learned about forest ecology and different ecosystems. We hiked to a shelter building area where they learned about and practiced basic survival skills. We took a nice, deep, steep hill down to Park Creek where they learned about riparian ecosystems and insects. They actually got to go into the creek and try to find those little critters. We visited an animal room. They learned about animal adaptations and different characteristics and even got to see and hold some live animals. We took a wonderful virtual tour of a solar system and a planetarium that they have on campus there. All the students got to make a beautiful silkscreen t-shirt to take home with them if they so chose. We learned a little bit about what the Native Americans' life might have been like in the Sierra Nevadas hundreds of years ago. Many of the students challenged the climbing wall and got to ring the bell at the very top on their brand new rock wall. We took a 5-mile hike to Jenkinson Lake, which was low at that time, but I believe it is full. Finally, again. And then every single night they had different activities, including tea building activities, campfires, carnival night, skid night, and all of them took part in a night hike. All right, let me get a kid up here. Come on, Wyatt.
One of the cool things about Slide Park is that the kids sort of start off with a challenge, and for some kids, it's like the challenge of being away from home. For some kids, it was the challenge of being away from their electronics, and for some kids, it's the challenge of the activities, doing a hike that they've never done before. So it's super cool at the end of the week to see these kids. They've accomplished something, they've met a goal, and it's really exciting.
Talk a little bit about the food.
The food was pretty good there. As you can see in one of the pictures, we had chicken tacos, and those are also pretty good.
There was scrambled eggs.
The scrambled eggs,
And then, the penne pasta.
the
with,
penne
Alfredo
pasta with
sauce.
Alfredo sauce. We had some chicken tenders, it looks like, in one of them.
And it was all homemade, fresh there as well.
One of the night activities we did was tug of war, which the Black Oak cabin won. Yeah, the girl cabin, Black Oak, won.
That was the science carnival.
Yeah, the science carnival and the little metal ball thing. They would,
It's magnetic.
yeah, the magnetic metal ball, and we would put our hands on it and we would make our hair go all up and frizzy and stuff.
That's right, that's our friend Diana there, actually.
Some of the hikes they took part on, as you can see down in the bottom corner there, that would be Park Creek. The students got to go down into the water a little bit, even though it was a little cold in November. They didn't get that wet. And found little critters and insects and took a look through them. We learned a little bit about road safety because that is a fairly dangerous road to cross. So we always learn about, making sure we learn how to stop, look, listen before we cross. And of course, staying on the trail, making sure that they leave no trace. Go ahead and talk about shirts.
The shirts, they had a silk screen, some shirts. So they had that leaf with Slide Park and some stuff about it. And there was a butterfly, and yeah, that was it. And then some other activities they had there were these Jenga blocks, how to tie knots, and some other stuff like that. They had optical illusions. And right here was where we were collecting the bugs to learn about them. We got to hold a snake in
Remember
the...
his name?
No, not really.
One's name was Houdini because he likes to escape.
And then there was a...
Yeah, he's a corn snake. He's a very happy guy. Did you get to? What do you do?
Some kids were really, they faced their fear and hold
If
the
you
snake.
didn't want to hold the snake, what could you do?
You could go in some of the other stations.
They always encourage them to at least try to pet it a little bit with even a finger, if possible. Go ahead, Hunter. Do you have something to say? This is Hunter, another one of our students.
I liked holding
Talk to
this.
Did you like holding the snake?
I did.
Did you get to hold him once or twice?
Twice.
You get to hold him twice. What did you learn about carnivores and prey? Did they have different types of skulls? The way their eyes are positioned on their
Yeah,
head?
like for prey, their eyes are on the side of their head, and for hunters, they're on the front.
In this picture, you can see the kids walking down to Jenkinson Lake. You can see it's fairly low at this point. And a couple of the girls walking through on the trail, taking a break, because it is 2.5 miles there and 2.5 miles back, so it's kind of hard. Shelter building.
Oh yeah, here are some of the shelters people built. We tried building a shelter in my group, and we did pretty good. We managed to get it to hold up for at least one person to fit in there. But
Hunter, did your group build a shelter too?
I can't remember if we finished it,
Yeah.
We might not have, but I do remember, like that. We want could it be it was I think it for the part or a person couldn't fit in there.
Oh, you're trying to fit a person in there. And the rock wall.
Ooh, yeah. So the rock wall, I managed to get up on the easy mode, about halfway up on the medium and hard, which was fun, definitely.
They're named after the three mountains in California. So one is Mount Whitney, another is Mount Lassen, and I can't remember the third, but it wasn't Shasta. I don't remember what the third one was. But all three of them had different varies of difficulty. We had lots of parents join us that week, lots of great teachers. The kids get to know their teacher the whole week that they're there. They do a morning activity with their Sly Park teacher and an evening activity, or an afternoon, and sometimes an evening activity with their same Sly Park teacher. The parents that come up with us, they are with their children 24/7 just about, and taking on 26 other children along the way. Our schedule includes all these activities. They wake up at 7, lights out at 9:30, 2 different activities a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, lots of different times during the day to rest and relax and change if needed. Plenty of food. You guys never went hungry.
Nope.
And they're so busy they forget about their cell phones. This last year, 5 days Sly Park trip was $280 a student. For chaperones, it was $150 a student. We also brought our special day class up for the afternoon with 3 students. So that trip actually cost us $14,938.90. After the deposit and the Measure H donation, which you so graciously gave us, we were able to get that cost down to $5,938, which brought it to about $175 a student. This year, we are looking at a raised cost. So last year, as you saw, $280.50 was the cost per student. This year, it is going up to $322 a student. With the cost with chaperones and our special day class, we are looking at a cost of $17,412. Assuming that we receive the same amount that we will get next year, or that we got this last year, we will be about $8,412 that we still need to raise. So, thank you. We're hoping that you remember us when you do your Measure H funding. Anything else you guys want to say?
Not really.
Any questions?
No, but I would comment, I'm so glad you all got to do this. This has been going on for almost 50 years now. I mean, I think I'm probably not the only one in the room who has kids who've been able to go to Sly Park. It used to be the 6th grade instead of the 5th grade.
In most districts, it is.
Talk to the microphone.
Not in Folsom Cordova, yeah.
So, the other schools that we were with were all 6th grades.
Yeah.
But since Folsom Cordova ends in 5th grade for elementary school, that's why we still go.
Right.
Yeah.
So the curriculum is obviously different, but I'm really thrilled that you all got to have that experience.
Did you want to say one more thing, Hunter?
Yes.
Talk to the microphone.
The people at the cafeteria were nice.
Yes, they were.
I'll bet
He's
they
a little
were.
picky with his food, so they made sure he ate. All right. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Do I need to do it? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Done. Let's go back to summer vacation.
Thank you. They do. And on the T-shirt, I didn't see the butterfly. I saw the caterpillar, but I love that you use your imagination from the caterpillar to the butterfly on that.
The butterfly's always there.
Yeah, I know. Next up is public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the council for any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time by completing and submitting a speaker card to the city clerk. For items on the agenda, speakers will be called by the mayor at the point on the agenda when the item will be heard. Speakers are encouraged to keep comments to 3 minutes or less and to state name and community of residence. Under the provisions of the California Government Code, the City Council is prohibited from discussing or taking immediate action on any item not on the agenda unless it can be demonstrated to be of an emergency nature or the need to take immediate action arose after the posting of the agenda. I'd like to ask the city clerk for any public comment.
Daryl Langwell, we have one speaker card for Daryl Langwell.
Good evening, Mayor Prilipati, council members, Darrell Langwell, the Vineyards neighborhood. I've been attending these meetings for around 14 or 15 years, with the exception of the COVID Zoom meetings. I attend the meetings for two reasons: to hear what the council is doing and to hear the concerns and ideas of my fellow citizens. At times, there have been a considerable number of people wishing to make comments on an item: the swimming pool, the gun range, sidewalk repair, concerns in the mobile home park, and others. Those concerns could not be adequately expressed in 3 minutes by one person representing a group. The council has always been willing to let each person express their thoughts, whether they were part of an organized group or just an individual. Some of those meetings lasted past 11 o'clock, and the council listened. I believe the purpose of these meetings is so that everyone has an opportunity to be heard. If listening to everyone's concerns and ideas is too taxing on a council member's time, then resignation may be a viable option.
Mayor Prilipati, that's all the public comment I have. Is there any additional public comment for items not on the agenda this evening that anybody wants to speak to?
Okay, we have an audience that want to listen to these topics. Great. I will go next to council member reports, and I will start with Council Member Little.
Nothing for me today.
Council Member Sander.
Well, it has been a busy couple of weeks with graduations, and for me, a lot of track commitments. I do want to report we have had some great success among our Rancho Cordova athletes on the track side. One of our athletes from Cordova High made it all the way to the Masters meet, which is the step right below the state track meet, and he made it all the way to the finals of the Masters meet with his best throw of his entire career, graduating senior. So it was Elijah Fulham, who I think is going to Sac State study computer science in the fall, but big kid with the track club, active at Cordova High School. Very, very cool to see him develop and perform that way. That was nice. We had other Rancho Cordova athletes, including one who finished 5th in the state in shot put. So very, very exciting for us there. I had a chance to visit with a lot of people at graduation parties the past couple of weeks. Also had a chance to get out to Soilborn and see what their operation is like on a Saturday morning, and the farmers market on the same Saturday morning, a couple weeks in a row. Checked it out. I was actually worried because citizens said they were concerned that the farmers market in particular wasn't doing well. And those are the two farmers markets, both occurring on Saturday mornings in Rancho Cordova. So I'm happy to report both are healthy and well attended. I don't know that either is quite as large as they may have been pre-pandemic, but I think that's true for a lot of similar endeavors. So, but they were both very healthy and really great experiences. If you haven't done that, I commend that to you. And finally, Memorial Day was last week. We had a great Memorial Day event at Cordova High's Performing Arts Center. I was happy to be able to be the MC for that event. And we brought it in exactly at 1 hour, which it's not actually a goal we set out to do, but it's nice to actually achieve what was on the program now and then. Very well attended. We had great support from the Rancho Cordova Community Band and the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, who fed everyone there lunch. So it was a very cool event. And for those of you who were there, thank you for coming. For those of you who weren't, try to get to one of those or a Veterans Day event in the near future. They're really, really special events. That's my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Sander. I have seen you out there in the field in track, and I must say, seeing you here, I don't see any tan or anything. You're just glowing, which is it's the ladies that are supposed to be that fresh after going out and staying out in the sun, but hey.
I'll record that and give it to my wife, the dermatologist. Hopefully she'll concur.
Or I'm building her business, so please, this is what it is after, he is out in the sun all day.
Yeah, but he had a hat on.
I have a hat on, I have long sleeves, and you should see me after I go out in the sun. We will move on to Councilmember Budge.
So yes, I would congratulate David and the Cordova Community Council on an absolutely wonderful Memorial Day celebration. Yeah, I'm quite certain the room was almost packed. This year they chose to every year has a theme, and so this year they chose to honor the poppies of Flanders Fields, and they got all the little kids in town, or all the elementary school kids, I think it was, to draw pictures depicting the poppies, the red poppies of Flanders Field. Dr. Dan, who did our invocation earlier, gave one of the invocations. They did a missing man ceremony, which was very moving. And given the fact that we don't get to go outside at the VA anymore, this was really a wonderful celebration. I attended an extremely hot Mitchell Middle School graduation on Friday morning. Curiously, the graduation at Mitchell Middle School was hotter than it was at Cordova High that night, where we finally graduated our last grandchild from Cordova High, and it was really nice. And the funny thing was, the stadium at Cordova is beautifully suited for something like that, a late afternoon event, because when the sun goes down behind the stadium itself, then it basically protects the field from all the hot sun, and a little bit of a breeze came up. And so by the end of the graduation, it was a perfectly lovely evening. And I thoroughly, obviously, on a family note, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was a really great graduation. One morning last week, I don't remember which, the little neighborhood that has been being constructed between Rayleigh's and Walgreens had their grand opening and ribbon cutting, and we toured the model homes. We did actually cut a ribbon. It's going to be a very nice place to live. They're actually for rent. They're not for sale. They're actually for rent. And the idea is that most people can come up with a monthly rent, but they can't come up with a down payment for a single-family house. So this gives them an opportunity to live in a really cohesive neighborhood that's just going to be it's going to be a really nice neighborhood. The management company is taking very good care of it. Last week, we also had a very interesting meeting between the City Council and the Planning Commission. Planning staff presented a lot of the concepts and ideas that are being talked about for the general plan update, and we all got kind of an introduction to that and were able to give ideas. And I would ask that we adjourn tonight in memory of one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever known. His name was Doug Elmore, commercial real estate broker, founder of Brown, Stevens, Elmore, and Spar. But Doug was part of a lot of land sales, both in Gold River and here at Anatolia. And so we would really want to recognize him tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Budge. And going to this Memorial Day also, when they were giving out poppies last year, they told us, I always thought it was because it symbolized, the veterans who died in war and bloodshed, but apparently it was because poppies were the flowers that were out in the fields when World War I was declared over and there was peace, and there was poppies in the battlefields, and so that is why we have poppies for Memorial Day. Vice Mayor.
I had a JPA meeting, met with Derek. We have to redo some of the verbiage because the federal government is suspending.
Which JPA?
Joint, the road, the connector, JPA connector. The verbiage in one of our grants is coming from the federal government, has some words that they're now against, which we talked about at our planning commission, so they were free, they froze our money, and so.
We didn't make the naughty city list. They published a list of like.
We're not the naughty city list, but that word is in one of our grants, and so we're going to pull the word out of our grant so they can give us our money, which I find ridiculous, but whatever. At least I'm getting the money in the end. It doesn't matter. Thank you to Shelley and the Cordova Community Council. I always enjoy Memorial Day, and this year they had hot dogs, which of course is the best type of food. Please put Wiener Schnitzel in the council chambers when we eat. Last is the Planning Commission, or the Planning Commission and the group talking about what we're going to design. I find it interesting because it's one of those things that if you don't take the time to really be thorough, you get burned pretty bad with bad actors. So I'm looking forward to having really succinct design on where everything needs to go and how the future is going to be built in the city of Rancho Cordova. That's
Well,
it.
any way you look at it, this is our first genuine update since we adopted the original general plan in 2006. A lot has changed.
Yes, much needed. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I attended a few community and social events, one of which was the OCA Sacramento 30th Dragon Boat Festival. I was at the opening for the Tricon Sunridge. This was Homes for Rent. That was open on Sunrise. I was at the BAPS Walk Run event on Sunday, luckily not on Saturday, which was amazingly hot. It was a good event, attended by many local leaders. And we had the Neighborhood Watch event here at Rancho Cordova City Hall that was attended by residents, and Chief Tamayo gave some really good advice on how to stay safe and what they're doing for the community from their perspective. And that ends my report. I'll move it to City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize for missing the meeting a couple of weeks ago. I had the pleasure to join a cohort of individuals participating in American Leadership Forum, so a regional event of lessons and learnings around leadership. So hoping to learn a lot from that program and bring back new and creative things for the city and the community. So I attended that during the last council meeting. So thank you for letting me go do that. And then last week, a team of staff and partners had the ability to go and visit NVIDIA headquarters in Santa Clara. And so we had a great experience in working on future relationships and partnerships as we think about the future of the community and of our business park, and looking for different participation and different initiatives around growing this innovative and technology-focused business park. So that was a great trip. So thank you.
What about the BIA Hard Hat Tour?
We also had a BIA Hard Hat Tour a couple weeks ago, and Councilmember Little was on that as well. And so had the pleasure of joining council members from Folsom, Planning Commissioner, some staff, checking out different new developments and basically south of Highway 50, and talking about the opportunities and challenges that come along with development in those spaces. So it was a good trip, and it's always nice to learn from our partners and from each other on kind of how development is happening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And with that, we move on to consent calendar items. Consent calendar items consist of matters deemed routine and non-controversial by staff. Unless a member of the council wishes to pull an item for individual consideration, all items will be approved by one motion. Are there any item council wishes to pull from consent calendar? I'll ask the city clerk for public comment.
We do have public comment. And all of those items are on 9.7.
Okay.
want to move the items out 9.7, like we usually do?
Yeah, I will move items 9.6 and 9.8.
So 9.1 through 9.8, other than 9.7.
Yeah.
Correct.
Roll call, Councilmember Budge.
Yes.
Councilmember Sander. Councilmember Little. Vice Mayor Gatewood.
Yep.
Mayor Pulapati.
Yes. We now take public comment.
Yes, if it's okay, I'm going to read the subject for 9.7. Fiscal year 2025 through 2027 budget, operating budget, and fiscal year 2025 through 2030 capital improvement plan. And we'll start with, we have 3 speakers on this item and 1 emailed public comment. We'll start with Stallion King.
Good evening, Mayor Gatewood and council members. My name is Stallion King. I'm a former Sacramento County foster youth and currently the volunteer coordinator at FITRA in Rancho Cordova, where I've worked for the past 3 years. I'm here today to speak in strong support of FITRA's CEIF funding request. FITRA is not just a job training program. It's a safe and healing space for youth ages 16 to 25. It provides mentorship, life skills, and trauma-informed support that changes lives. When I first came to FITRA at 19, I was struggling with depression, with confidence, and with direction. But through their mentorship, I grew. I gained the tools to lead. Today, I manage our warehouse, help guide other youth, and I'm working toward my associate's degree. Last year alone, FITRA supported over 75 youth, including students from Cordova High, Kenny High, and Folsom schools. Together, we contributed more than 1,200 hours of volunteer service. We've been the top contributing nonprofit on the city's Volunteer Central platform and actively participated in Spring Service Days. FITRA's work aligns directly with the goals of Measure H, preventing youth violence and supporting underserved young people before issues arise. By funding this request, you're investing not just in a program, but in safety, opportunity, and the future of Rancho Cordova's youth. I respectfully urge you to approve FITRA's CEIF request. Thank you for your time and your commitment to our community. Thank you. Here you go. Thank you.
Stallion also submitted a public comment via email that's been distributed to the city council. It's been placed on the city's website and printed for the public in the back of the council chambers. The next public speaker is Nadia. Following Nadia will be Marie Evans. Nadia, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Gatewood, Vice Mayor Gatewood, Mayor Siri, City Manager. My name is Nadia, and I am the founder of FITRA, a youth-led social enterprise based right here in Rancho Cordova. At FITRA, we provide paid job training, life skills, and mentorship to youth, people facing major challenges, homelessness, involvement in the juvenile justice system, and deep poverty. We help them build confidence and purpose through hands-on trauma-informed support. So when we followed up on our CIF application, we were told it didn't meet the requirements. But I want to clarify, FITRA does meet the intent of the CIF program. Our book Reselling Social Enterprise isn't about making profit. It's a platform where youth can gain real-world job experience while learning how to lead and grow. They're not just earning, they're learning. Our requests focus on program delivery, which CIF explicitly allows. We only asked for what we needed to reach more youth. We're open to scaling or adjusting to better align with the city's vision. But what's hardest to talk about is this. The youth we serve show up every day to work in a warehouse that regularly hits over 100 degrees in the summer. These youth are people who have already been through so much, and yet they show up. They're ready to work, sweat pouring down their backs, doing everything they can to build a better future. So it's not just uncomfortable, it's unsafe. If the issue is operational funding or stipends, then please consider helping us in a tangible way. An AC system, a cooling fence, better equipment, anything would make a huge difference for the youth who show up day after day in heat that would drive most people away. FITRA is deeply rooted in Rancho Cordova, as Stallion says. Our books are donated by local residents. We consistently lead in volunteer signups through Volunteer Central. We bring people together and we offer youth a path forward when many feel they have none. I respectfully ask you to reconsider FITRA's CIF application or work with us to find another way the city can support our efforts. We've taken a hit with the loss of federal support, which including our entire AmeriCorps team, but we're still here. We're still serving, we still show up, and still believe in Rancho Cordova's youth. Thank you for your time and your leadership.
Next speaker is Marie Evans.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marie Evans. I just wanted to add on to what Stallion and Nadia have said. I am a new resident here at Rancho Cordova. My husband and I moved here a few months ago. And one of the reasons why we moved here was because there was a diverse community. And what I recently read was that it's one of the cities, one of the 5 cities that is growing in activities, popularity, as well as residential. So, and also the thing that also encouraged us to come here is the fact that I've worked for not-for-profit for a number of years, and I've recognized there's always challenges when it comes to resources. And when I first came here, the first thing that I did was to look and invest and take my time out to volunteer in different of the not-for-profits here. I had the pleasure and the opportunity to work with Nadia the past few months, and I have seen how hard the volunteers Nadia has worked to try to make sure that they provide support, resources to marginalized foster youth. And as I am not sure as to why funding, the CIF funding has not been somewhat allocated to FITRA, but I am here appealing to you that as you work on the budget or whatever measure that's needed to be made, that you do consider FITRA when it comes to the allocation of CIF fundings. They are doing an excellent job, and I myself, I am very committed to working with individuals, with people where I can make a difference, where they are making a difference. And every time I am involved with them, I see that they are making a difference. It is very easy for resources to be allocated and to especially those who may have already, but there are a number of youth in Rancho Cordova that are in desperate need of those fundings. And I see the work that FITRA is doing, and they are doing an excellent job. So please reconsider and when it comes to allocating funding to that organization. Thank you very much.
Mayor Pulapati, that's all the public comment we have.
Colleagues, and also if we can have Randy Kay or Micah Runner give an update to these comments and concerns. We'll start with colleagues who have comments on this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to commend you on doing really good work. You're obviously hardworking and honorable. You have very high purpose in this. I think you've been successful in this. And I say this as a foster parent myself, so I understand the sort of the challenges in the system, or should I say the lack of system that exists for foster kids. It's a huge challenge. It's a huge, I think, a shame on our state. The challenge we have is that the program as described doesn't really mesh well with the intentions of the Community Enhancement Fund. This is really sort of a social service kind of an activity, and we don't really fund that. That's more of a county responsibility. We fund other sorts of activities that are helpful to the community and of interest to the community, but this one is not quite fitting what we would normally do within the bounds of the CIF. I know we have extended a lot of funding to you over recent years, mainly through economic development side and in part due to pandemic era funding. But I think for this particular application, CEIF, I'm not sure what staff will say, but my guess is it's just not quite a fit for the categories that we have. And I would say if we did open ourselves up to do social service sort of funding, the demands would be endless, and it would be very, very, very difficult for us to determine what to fund and what not to fund. So that's sort of been a bright line for us in the past.
So Nadia, myself, Vice Mayor, have attended and been and seen what FITRA does, and you work with positivity and with a purpose to have an impact on the youth. So we know that you're doing a great job, and we know you're having a positive impact on the people. So I understand that this application, like Councilmember Sandra mentioned, is not in the right category of how it fits from our CEIF funds. So I'd like to hear from Randy Kay or the city manager on what our options are for this, or if it doesn't fit.
So, thank you, Mayor. I'll just kind of jump in and let Randy Kay can fill in the gaps where needed. But, we go through a process with the CIF grant applications. And so we went through kind of the process of evaluating and looking at the grant applications and had a good conversation here at City Council during that process. And some of the applications were referred over to economic development type program if they had that kind of recognition. And the application for FITRA was one of those applications. And so I think that's in a few others too. And so that's where basically it was talked about as an economic development initiative. I think and by the way, we met with Nadia and folks on Friday and really appreciated the conversation and talked about how to move things forward and kind of position the conversation a little differently for the next time and what that may look like. And we have been a good partner with FITRA over the last couple of years. And so I think we're working on new solutions or things. And part of my conversation with them was kind of the timing of this at the end of our kind of budget process was probably a little bit late in the process to make big changes, but obviously want to work with them on kind of building a program for the future. And probably this conversation we could have had would have been during the grant application process and selection. So that's kind of where we are today at kind of the end of the kind of budget cycle. And so happy to hear comments or direction from council, but that's our current recommendation.
So it's a timing issue, sorry, my council member. Is it a timing issue versus a fit in this application process?
Well, I think there's two things. It's both, I think, a little bit. And kind of we had that conversation around workforce development, whether this is an economic development type initiative or something different. And so we were happy to work with them on what that looks like for the next round of applications and work with all of the applicants when they come forward and try to fit the right amount for the grant. So it's basically that would have been a good conversation to have a month ago during this conversation. So it's a little bit of both fit and timing.
I do have a question. Given that if we break this into two parts, one was just the general funding request, but the other one, there was a very specific need expressed for air conditioning for the warehouse. So I'm wondering if there's a possibility of putting them together with somebody at SMUD or a mechanical engineering firm or somebody like that that could help them figure out how to air conditioning whatever their warehouse is. Or even the property owner.
SMUD already gives money to them.
What?
They already get money from SMUD.
So I think with any, kind of project applicant, we're always happy to talk about solutions for different alternatives. So we can follow up with Nadia and make connections as far as the, different other resources or work with property owners. But at the end of the day, I think that was probably a decision to look at something that was more capital intensive as far as a lot of times our criteria and what we look at is usually funding more of those things. And I think that would be a good conversation in the next cycle, but we're kind of at the end of the process. But we're happy to work with them and work with landowners or property owners or talk about different opportunities for funding. But right now, our recommendation is to move forward with the budget as is.
Thank you. Nadia, do you have a clear understanding of next steps on this one? Thank you. So with that, I'm going to ask if anybody has a motion on this line item.
So I will move approval on item 9.7.
Second?
Roll call, Councilmember Budge?
Yes.
Councilmember Little? Yes. Councilmember Sander? Aye. Vice Mayor Gatewood?
Yep.
Mayor Pulapati?
Yes. Thank you. We now move on to consent public hearing items. Consent public hearing items consist of matters deemed routine and non-controversial by staff. Unless a member of the council wishes to pull an item for individual consideration, all items will be approved by one motion. I'm going to open for public hearing and ask the city clerk if there's any public comment.
There is no public comment for consent public hearing items.
So I'm going to close the public hearing and ask if there's any items council wishes to pull.
Hearing none, I will move approval of items 10.1 through 10.5.
Have the city clerk to call a roll.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you. Councilmember Sander? Aye. Councilmember Budge?
Yes.
Councilmember Little? Yes. Vice Mayor Gatewood?
Yep.
Mayor Pulapati?
Yes,
And you closed the public hearing?
I did.
Thank you.
With that, we move on to public hearing items, and I'll ask the city clerk to announce the subject.
Mills Crossing Specific Plan Amendment Major Design Review and Tentative Subdivision Map. Environmental Impact Report SCH 20230101002, prepared pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act, project number PLND 05240098, located at 10153 Folsom Boulevard.
I'll ask Chance Finley Ross for the staff report.
Great. Okay. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Chance Finley Ross, the city's planning department. Here to present the Mills Crossing project entitlements before you tonight. So just a reminder, we are continuing the discussion of the project, which was last heard on April 21st. The goal of tonight's meeting is to present the project entitlements and provide a staff recommendation that includes the following: certification of the environmental impact report, introduction and waiving of the first reading of the ordinance adopting the specific plan amendment, and approval of the tentative subdivision map and major design review. We did want to note that discussions on project phasing, implementation, details, and fund commitments will occur in future meetings once further direction has been given. So just going over the project entitlements briefly, as a reminder, we are presenting the specific plan amendment, which is proposing a zoning code change to the Folsom Boulevard specific plan, which is redesignating the project site from residential mixed use to a combination of commercial mixed use, high density residential, and medium density residential, which would allow the Mills Opportunity Site to continue to align with the Folsom Boulevard specific plan goals for mixed commercial uses and housing types in this area. I want to reiterate that the future housing projects located in this project area will undergo separate review under separate entitlements, so they're not included as part of this entitlement package. For the tentative subdivision map, it's proposing to reconfigure the site into 7 new parcels that include new public streets connecting El Caprice with La Loma Drive, as well as streetscape improvements. The The proposed parcels include commercial spaces, open spaces, and parking on parcels 1 through 5, shown here in purple and green, and then medium-density residential and high-density residential shown in blue. For the EIR, the city did complete the EIR, and it was per CEQA guidelines, starting with a notice of preparation released on January 6, 2023, and a public scoping meeting, which occurred on January 19th, 2023. The draft EIR was released for 45 days on June 7th, 2024, and received 7 comment letters on air quality, biological and cultural resources, tribal cultural resources, hazardous materials, and greenhouse gases. The final EIR confirmed no need for recirculation, and the mitigation measures outlined in the mitigation monitoring and reporting program that is included with this EIR are expected to reduce all impacts to less than significant levels. We did want to note that certification of the EIR doesn't commit the city to proceeding with construction. It does secure the environmental approvals for the project and preserves the city's options for future planning. So I'll now pass the presentation over to Christine.
Thanks, Chance. My name's Christine Cordy. I'm in the Public Works Department. I'm going to go over the scope of the Mills Crossing improvements included in this entitlement. The project entitlement includes 3 buildings and open space improvements, and as mentioned by Chance, the housing will be proposed under a future entitlement. So we want to provide an overview of these 3 buildings, and we do have the April 21st presentation of it.
Can I ask, has there been any change to this presentation since the last time you presented this design review?
No.
So why are we presenting it again?
Okay, we're happy to keep moving forward.
Colleagues, would you like to see this again?
Okay.
I think I'm the only one who was absent, but I did see the video.
Okay. So those are the 3 buildings and site improvements, and I'll keep it moving with Stefan then.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Stefan Heisler, Housing Manager with the city and one of the project managers on this project. I think one of the things we want to be clear about is with this action tonight, if approved, we would be certifying the environmental impact report, which analyzes the impacts of a project of the size of 130,000 square feet of commercial buildings and up to 120 units of housing. So approval of the certification of the EIR provides sort of this box of flexibility to continue looking at projects within that box. So even the analysis is beyond sort of the buildings that were included in this entitlement as well, but it creates this box of flexibility for us to continue working towards or having discussions on buildings and a project at this site. Secondly, the tentative parcel map, if approved, would be recorded and would create these new parcels and dedicate the public right-of-way, and really helps to move the site itself overall towards being shovel-ready for a project. And then the specific plan amendment would change the zoning for the parcels, and really the real reason for that specific plan amendment provides additional flexibility for the commercial uses or non-residential uses at this site overall. And then the design review, if approved this evening, would be good for 3 years with 3 one-year extensions. So approval this evening would kind of give this key project milestone that kind of locks in the value of the outreach and the planning that has been completed to date, and gives us that foundation to continue having conversations and refine the project through phasing discussions or alternatives. And also provides flexibility for the site and ongoing conversations with our project partners. So the staff recommendation this evening is 3 parts, 2 resolutions and 1 ordinance. The first one is to adopt a resolution certifying the EIR and MMRP and CEQA findings. The second one is to introduce and waive the first reading of the ordinance, which would adopt the specific plan amendment. And then the third one is to adopt the resolution approving the tentative subdivision map and major design review. So, and then we would anticipate next steps. If approved this evening, you would see the item come back on June 16 for the second reading of the ordinance. Usually that's on a consent item. And then we would anticipate having additional conversations. I mean, recognizing sort of the conversation that took place at the budget workshop, we anticipate there would be some future discussions needed to continue talking about project partnerships and operations, implementation and phasing, as well as the funding and grants that have already been secured for the project at this site. that concludes our presentation. Happy to take questions and comments.
Can you go back to the previous slide and hold on that one? So my understanding is at this time, this is not a discussion about moving the project forward, but we're only proving the CEQA and design review to complete the work done up to this point. So there will be future conversations on whether we want to move this project forward, right?
Absolutely. So entitlements is one key step, but obviously if we want to move this project forward, we would need additional discussions about negotiating a development agreement with the developer and securing a guaranteed maximum price, which would occur over several months through this summer if we were to move forward on it.
Thank you. Given the intent of this topic, do we have public comment?
Yes, we do. We have 8 speaker cards. We will start with Kevin Sheehan. Following Kevin will be Michelle Hillen-Naufer, Amber Cosby, Vicki Johnson. We'll start with Kevin.
I'd like each one of them to use CEQA in their verbiage. Keep going.
Would you like to open the public hearing?
That I would like to.
Thank you.
Open for public comment.
Okay, Kevin, if you'd like to come forward, you'll have up to 3 minutes.
Right.
Either one.
Thank you. I drew the golden ticket. I got to be number 1. My name is Kevin Sheehan, and I'm a resident of Rancho, Cordova since 1990. My business is commercial real estate, and I used to work for CBRE, now with Kidder Matthews, and pretty much made my living working in the business park of the Cap Center and also in Roseville and Folsom. So I'm just standing here to support this project. I think it's wonderful that we're going to provide some community services to the city of Rancho Cordova, some needed housing, quality project, and I like the open space. So that's it.
Second speaker is Michelle Hillen-Naufer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Michelle Hillen-Naufer. I am a resident of Rancho Cordova and the executive director of NorCal Arts. I'm here to express NorCal Arts' strong support for Mills Crossing and to highlight the opportunity it offers to make Rancho Cordova a leader in equitable access to the arts, community building, and creative economic development. First off, I want to say I've appreciated the many ways in which community-based organizations like NorCal Arts was engaged to provide feedback and input all along the way, every step of the process. I looked back at my calendar, and October 20th, 2020 was the first focus group that I marked in my calendar on Mills Crossing. So I just want to tell you a little bit about NorCal Arts. I think some of you already know, but NorCal Arts is a nonprofit arts education organization serving more than 12,000 students annually in Sacramento and Rancho Cordova, with a focus on Title I schools and underserved youth. We provide theater, dance, music, and visual arts programming, producing over 35 stage productions each year while creating workforce pathways through training for teaching artists and future credentialed arts teachers. We currently have 160 employees, and we're growing. We envision Mills Crossing as an active, inclusive, and continually utilized space that serves the entire community. With the passing of Prop 28, school districts are in need of exactly what Mills Crossing will provide. Imagine, if you will, school groups attending productions that align with educational standards, providing an opportunity for students to see theater productions that they may never have had the opportunity to see. Imagine professional performances for families and the broader public, creating new opportunities for Rancho Cordova residents to engage with the arts closer to home. Imagine professional development workshops for teachers and artists, strengthening the pipeline of diverse arts educators and artists. Imagine a space that is continually activated with theater, music, dance, visual arts, multicultural events, after-school programming, community festivals, and workforce development, all designed to reflect and celebrate the diversity of our great city. I do want to address a few things that were brought up in past meetings in regards to parking and the loading dock. For NorCal Arts programming, the loading dock is plenty large enough, and the specifications are standard for the industry. As far as the parking demand for arts education is naturally lighter. School groups typically arrive in school buses. So minimal parking is needed for daytime educational performances. And classes and rehearsals for youth often involve families from the neighborhood walking or biking or parents dropping their students off, which many of them might go to eat in local restaurants.
Please wrap up your comments.
While their students are at restaurants, or students are in rehearsals. And also this benefits Rancho's businesses and creative economy. So just to wrap up, NorCal Arts is excited to collaborate with other arts organizations in Rancho Cordova and is ready to be an anchor partner in helping Mills Crossing become a thriving, inclusive cultural hub that benefits youth, families, local businesses, and the broader community. Thank you for your leadership and vision on this important project.
Next speaker is Amber Cosby. Following Amber will be Vicki Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Amber Cosby. I am a board member of NorCal Arts. I'm also a parent of 2 students who have greatly benefited from the program. My son, Jaquez, he's a theater major as a result of being influenced by theater. Also growing up in Detroit, he went to a performing arts school, so to come and have theater here in Sacramento in 2015 when we moved back was a great benefit. Also, my daughter, McKaylee, she did go through I'm really nervous, I'm sorry. She did go through the college preparation class offered by NorCal. She's now attending UC Santa Barbara. She's in her 3rd year. Jaquez is a theater major at Sac State University. Oh gosh. I am a proud member of the Rosemont community, the Rosemont Rancho Cordova community. The impact that the theater arts would have on the community. Theater builds confidence, creativity, self-esteem, and communication skills in all students who have the privilege to attend any arts program. My son, Jaquez, is actually an additional beneficiary of NorCal. He's a teaching artist, and I get the inside view of what the students learn from the arts. He tells me, he just told me today that the students appreciate being heard. A lot of students don't get to be heard, and who knows what their family environment is. So the teachers and staff in NorCal, they love the students, they care for the students, and they're that parent away from home that can give them that extra love and attention that they need that sometimes COVID may have taken from them. The impact of the theater arts also provides career pathways and positive life opportunities. As for my son, it also supports youth development through teamwork, self-expression, and self-awareness. The community benefits brings vibrancy and culture life to the neighborhood. It also offers accessible programs for all ages and cultural backgrounds. It attracts families and supports the local economy. I support the Mills Crossing Civic Center strongly. NorCal Arts is more than ready, equipped, and prepared to partner with the city for year-round arts programming. That's summer and spring when most students need care. It could be an educational care program for them so they're not sitting with their devices at home while mom and dad are at work. NorCal is committed to collaborating with all local organizations.
Please wrap up your comments.
Yes, ma'am. The Civic Center will most definitely be a community asset for all, both here locally as well as nearby communities for years to come. Thank you for your leadership and continued support of the arts here in Rancho Cordova.
Next speaker is Vicki Johnson. Following Vicki will be Steve Johns. Following Steve will be Reed Aiken.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Vicki Johnson, and as a member of the NorCal Arts team, I want to convey my deepest respect for the commitment that you give to this community and how you create a sense of belonging with all the activities that you create. At NorCal, we very much align with that same commitment. It is for this reason NorCal Arts utilizes the transformative power of the arts far beyond the beauty of any given art piece, musical sound, or stage production. Don't get me wrong, we love the aesthetics of the arts, but we know that for a vibrant community, the arts has even more power, and we use that power. We use it to improve the overall health and well-being of our community members. We provide them with stronger connections, and we educate the community through civic, artistic engagement. We know through research and from our experiences that we support mental health, physical health, social emotional well-being, while nurturing empathy and a sense of belonging, all critical factors to maintaining mental wellness and a vibrant community. It is with this awareness we created comprehensive arts integration programs giving access to all students, including those in underserved communities, in class, in after-school programs, and before school, a variety of arts programs. These programs teach, through a variety of theater arts activities, effective communication and boundary setting skills, conflict resolution and emotional regulation skills, importance of self-reflection, choices, self-awareness, and community engagement. I'm also the counselor who provides, I'm a accredited counselor, who provides college admissions counseling to those students in Title I schools who usually don't get that access. So we are very aware of getting out into the community as far as we can go to provide the services that the arts can to elevate the opportunities for students from all areas of our community. We also have a leadership program that actively engages our theater arts students, our high school students in the community. They work with nonprofit, matching the theme of a production to the nonprofit, and they have them come in and speak to the students and to the audiences about the needs of their nonprofit, and they also provide donations on behalf of those nonprofits. The three that we've worked with recently in the past 6 months are A Touch of Understanding, Loaves and Fishes, and Shriners Hospital, and we have raised funds and donation items for them. In the past, our students have also put on student-organized fundraisers. Student-organized, I want to underline that, bringing in close to 500 people together. We bring people together, we bring community, and that's why I love what I do.
Please wrap up your comments.
We strongly believe our aligned mission, our commitment and dedication to community is perfect for the civic center like Mills Crossing. Since this city and NorCal Arts have a community-based outreach that is far and wide and very visible in this community, we are excited to collaborate so that we can ensure Mills Crossing's immediate success on the first day the doors open. Thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Steve Johns.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Steve Johns. I'm the Senior Director of Government Affairs for Sutter Health. Sutter is interested in the opportunities that this project could provide us to bring additional patient care services to Rancho Cordova. Sutter, the city, and the developer have been discussing opportunities for Sutter to occupy Building 1 in this project. While our service and space programming efforts are very preliminary, we're looking at all sorts of patient-facing services that could include primary care, urgent care, or specialty care. Sutter is further attracted to the site due to its proximity to housing, light rail, as well as the Rancho Cordova Center for Folsom Lake College. As you know, Sutter invested $1.5 million into the Rancho Cordova Center through our Next Gen Scholars Program, which seeks to provide educational opportunities and career pathways to high school students. Through the program, students from Cordova High School will identify healthcare paths, identify special classes, and obtain work experience at Sutter healthcare facilities. Our goal is for the students to receive a community college certificate in their chosen healthcare field. Our investment that we made is supporting the remodel of 4 classrooms at the Folsom Lake Center to create a state-of-the-art facility for those students. We anticipate that the first cohort of students could start through the program as early as this fall. There's a strong synergy between the Next Gen Scholar investment that we've made and the outpatient care that we can provide as part of this project. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Reed Aiken. Following Reed will be James Garcia and Helen Whalen-Bashaw.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Reed Aiken. I'm a new resident to Rancho Cordova. I'm familiar with the area despite being a new resident here. My wife and I have been attending River City Christian here for the past 2 years. Beyond that, I actually grew up in Folsom, and after moving away for college, moved back to the area, and then just this last month, my wife and I were blessed enough to be able to buy a home here in Rancho Cordova, just down the road from the new Grant Line 208 elementary school project. I just wanted to say that it's been great to see all this new development in the area between the new housing projects, the new elementary schools, and then this Mills Crossing development here. I think it's a really great project. It's great to see more commercial, performing arts, mixed use developments coming to the community, and just wanted to, again, echo support of this Mills Crossing project. Thank you.
Next speaker is James Garcia.
Hello, James Garcia, resident of Stone Creek. You mentioned a couple things that you're asking for tonight. One, you want to okay the mitigation and monitoring and reporting program and CEQA finding. Had to mention CEQA for you because you wanted that. That's okay to do. Number two, okay the ordinance of the specific plan amendments. That's also okay to do. But I'm saying no to the tentative subdivision map and major design review. As many in the community have mentioned, this is not the right place. This is going to be a money pit for the city. I like the idea that Sutter wants to go in. That's great. Go ahead and, if you want to do this, since it looks like we always seem to roll with everything and allow everything to happen. Allow it to happen, but sell the buildings. Do not be financially responsible for any of these buildings. All of these organizations get our money from our Measure H money and everything else. This will be a continued money pit for the city. All the taxpayers. It's not the right location for a lot of our organizations. Some of the arts, yes, not all of them. There's been many that came here that said, no, we've never were mentioned and brought up to have approval for it, such as the band. They were never brought up and the approval from the previous person. So once again, this is going to be a money pit for us. Please do not approve it unless you sell everything. The housing, no problem, because that's going to be able to be self-sufficient and self-funding. But the arts, no. It's going to be next to a few other things, no. A cafe in there, it has to have its own tenant improvements in order to have bathrooms inside of it. Bathrooms are on the outside. There's an outside area for activities, but again, they have to go inside in order to go to the bathroom. This is not the proper major design review if this is going to be that case. Make it something else. It's not ours. We should not have to pay for it. Big money pit. Thank you.
Next speaker is Helen Whalen-Bashaw.
Hello, Helen Whalen-Bashaw. In prior meetings, I've talked about not approving this. And I look at NorCal, it's a nonprofit theater group that receives funding from California Arts Council, government agency, the City of Sacramento Arts, and Creative Economic Grants. This is going to be funded by the City of Rancho Cordova. This community, the community you're putting this building in is land strapped. You have too many renters. Most of the people can't afford these kind of activities for their children. You've got a lot of cars, and in 2023, the garage structure was part of this. All these groups have talked about all the great things they can bring. I'd like to see the financial statements that say they can support it. And how much money does the city donate to all their activities? This would be better over in the Anatola area because the mass transit isn't going to provide the transportation people need to get there. And what economic group is really going to use these facilities? I'm just totally opposed to it. I think you're putting a round peg in a square hole. I do think you need to rethink this because you need people to come there, but I don't think it's in the neighborhood. You're bringing cars into the area, but we do not have the parking structure because it's too expensive. So I think the city needs to seriously reconsider how much money are we going to invest in this. I have yet to see an economic statement that says the profitability of the structures that you intend to bring in there. Show us some other cities that have the similar type of activities and see what their 5-year rates are. I mean, businesses fail within 5 years. We can't afford as a city to have this white elephant go down in 5 years. So some of you are laughing or smiling. I just consider it a money pit. It's the wrong fit for that area of the city. The people living in that area aren't going to use it, I don't believe, because they can't afford it. They can barely afford to keep their children in school. And you have, a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. So I think this is the wrong fit for the city in that area. Thank you.
Mayor Pulapati, that's all the public comment that we have.
Council, do you have any comments, questions?
Would you like to close the public hearing?
I would like to do that first.
Thank you.
Closed.
Just of that list of things we saw, the 3 things that are going to be happening, I would recommend doing the funding and grant app process first, just to see where we're at once we decide that. We may not have to do all the other stuff.
Anyone else?
This is one of our rare opportunities to do something that would really serve as an incubator for that part of Folsom Boulevard. There's no question that maybe we will have space east of Sunrise to do other civic facilities like this or similar to this. But we have seen very few opportunities in the last, 30 years, truly, that have given us an opportunity to redevelop part of Folsom Boulevard. Curiously, the Walmart and Safeway were a huge assist in that area. And the initial remodel that was done of Mills Center back in the late, 1990s, really helped with that part of Folsom Boulevard. But there's no question that this will be a magnet. We also have, it's quite certain that light rail is not ever going to get to the Anatolias. We really only have one light rail system. And we'll be lucky if we ever really get any bus service out east of Sunrise. So this takes advantage of opportunities we have. And as was pointed out, this simply approves the basic structure, the basic framework of the project. This does not approve all of the different aspects that could go into it. We've heard a presentation from Sutter that was really great, and we've heard a presentation from NorCal Arts, which sounds equally great. But we'll have to see what else comes along. But in the meantime, we will have approved the basic authority to build something at this location that will work for the whole community.
Mm-hmm.
This is a project with, I guess it's really long in the tooth if I think about it. City originally tried to get this property, Lyndon, I don't even want to venture what year, but it was 2000 something, Adam, 5, 7, 9, something in there. Very long litigation occurred, owners died, new owners came along, sold us property, real estate busts happened, pandemics happened. Here we are, still trying to address the basic need of we have to reinvent what Folsom Boulevard is. Yeah. Folsom Boulevard was designed to be Highway 50. 70 years ago. It is no longer Highway 50. It has not been Highway 50 for 50 years, I suppose. Actually, it was Highway 50 longer than 70 years ago. It was probably back in the 1930s it got that designation. Linda might know.
The freeway opened in 74.
Right. So it's been 50 years of not being Highway 50. And of course, most of those years were under county jurisdiction. They didn't have any ability to do anything about that boulevard. We came along as a city and have done things along that boulevard to try to fix it up. But we have to remember there are very, very few economic activities that have worked. Linda mentioned the ones that have worked. And so our interest in this property has always been, it's a big parcel. It's a grand opportunity to make a difference on Folsom Boulevard and set a new standard, sort of like light a spark as to what might be possible along that boulevard. So there are some elements here I think most people agree with. For one, there's housing for sale as proposed as this process. I don't know exactly what that looks like because we're not talking about that tonight, but this sort of prepares our ability to put housing for sale along Folsom Boulevard. That's important because it would demonstrate to real estate professionals and developers and investors that that is possible along Folsom Boulevard. Right now, most of them would probably tell you it's not. This will not work. But because this is city-owned property, we have the ability to do something like that. It doesn't even have to be hugely profitable to us for that to be worth it. This just sets a new tone along Folsom Boulevard that we're not 1972 anymore, or 1974, whatever the year you just said was. This is a new era for what this boulevard ought to be. Another really exciting thing I heard here, and it's come about only because of these discussions we've had the past few years, is this potential Sutter partnership. There have been other healthcare entities that have been interested in this site. We do not have that kind of healthcare facility in that older part of Rancho Cordova along Folsom Boulevard. And that, by the way, is where the vast majority of our city population lives, is in this part of town. And this is the same part of town that often complains about nothing is done for them, everything is done for new growth. Now, that argument's not very valid, frankly, because new growth is paying for new growth. And then just talk to people about their Melrose taxes out there that pay for all the new facilities that have to be built when you have a new neighborhood. It's not really that way. But the reality is if you want to look for shiny new things on the ground, it is harder to find them on the old side of Rancho Cordova than the brand new side of Rancho Cordova, and that's an issue. That's an ongoing issue for us. We do not want to have an us versus them. So this is an opportunity to do something on a very big old problem and to sort of set a new standard for what could happen along Folsom Boulevard. Get some economic opportunity with the Sutter partnership, but also service for our residents, specifically hitting exactly the things we heard about when we polled them. And finally, there's this arts piece. And the arts piece, I think, is probably the least appreciated and probably the least well understood, maybe by all of us at this point. I think, and the reason the city has had an art strategy is that we need economic development to occur. And when you, along a place like Folsom Boulevard, and we look for the opportunities to do so, pre-incorporation, Linda led a project that was doing facade improvements for businesses along Folsom Boulevard, going to a business owner or property owner and saying, hey, your building looks like 1950, can we make it look like 1990 something? Hundreds of thousands of dollars later and lots of bureaucratic actions later, it was done through the county at the time, you would get a new facade. For that amount of money put into an art sort of economic development strategy, you get hundreds of people involved, thousands of people involved, perhaps year-round exhibits, sort of in exchange for what you might spend on one storefront remodel the other way. Art dollars go really far because people bring their passions to it. People from outside the community will come, attend, spend money, create activity, positive activity in an area. That, I think, is our primary reason for pursuing an art strategy as a city of Rancho Cordova. The fact is there's only other benefits in it. You engage your own residents in creating it. It becomes an economic benefit. It's a social benefit. It brings people together, makes your city look better, feel better, raises your image in the entire region. There's really no downside, and it's really cheap compared to other options. So art will definitely, I would say, have some sort of a role here. I don't know if it's in a $50 million theater or whatever the price tag is for that theater. But we're already doing some art when the MAC across the street. It would be silly for us to abandon art strategy at this point. Finding the biggest bang for the buck should be the real goal. And so those are sort of big picture reasons. I think procedurally here, what we've got in front of us is just putting a little bow on the work that's already been done and then trying to figure out how do we actually implement all of those steps. Because as I mentioned, the housing, we don't know what that looks like or exactly how that would roll out. The partnership on the office building, we don't know exactly how that would roll out because we don't know the size and scope of what a partner like Sutter might be interested in. I don't know if it's an 18-story building. I'm looking, oh, I got to know on that, an 8-story building or a 1.8-story building, but somewhere in there is what they're interested in. I think 3 or 4 sounds really good. With a parking garage behind, that would be awesome. But in any case, whatever that is, we need a little time to explore that. We should finish the EIR and approve this, and then move forward trying to figure out those next steps for the remainder of the property. I mean, for the entire, pretty much remainder of the property.
All right, so I'd like to move forward with the recommendation to, 1, adopt the resolution certifying Mills Crossing's environmental impact and adopt the mitigation monitoring report program and CEQA findings. That's for you. That's for you. Introduce, yes, I am, just on the side. Introduce and waive the first reading of ordinance and adopting the specific plan amendment with associated exhibits and track changes subject to the finding contained in the ordinance, and adopt the resolution and tentative subdivision map, minor redesign with associated exhibits subject to the findings contained in the resolution, closing this first part of this, not moving forward with, of course, the funding and all that stuff to add it to a later date.
Second. Second.
I'll ask the city clerk to call roll.
Councilmember Budge?
Yes.
Councilmember Sander? Aye. Councilmember Little? Vice Mayor Gatewood?
Yep.
Mayor Polapati?
Yes. With that, I will
That was
move on.
five votes. The motion passes.
The motion passes. Oops. With that, we move on to regular calendar items, and there are no consent public hearing items this evening. So I will go on to council requests for future agenda items. And colleagues, are there any future agenda items? Vice Mayor Gatewood,
Oh, you already brought that up.
you can bring it up again.
I would like to bring up the form and structure of meetings and have a talk with as a group about how we do the structure of the meeting, timing of the meeting, and how everything's done. I think it's time.
Okay.
We weren't here when it originally was created, and there's 3 new people that would like to discuss how we do this going forward.
Second. Do you need a third?
Yeah, Joe.
So
Yes,
Joe's
I saw
third
Joe
in.
nodding his head. Usually the
Sorry, I wasn't
conversations
looking
usually
that way.
require 3 nods, so we're good.
Three
Okay.
nods have happened. So
Okay.
professional.
If we do that, could we do that in a workshop setting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely
that'd be the
workshop.
idea, probably.
Okay, I
the type
didn't
of
know if
meeting.
that was in the
No,
request.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I definitely want to do a workshop. Those are fun.
So with that, we are to move to closed session. but it
I
has
got
been-
one thing.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Don't crucify me, but it seems about time we talk about cannabis again and the fact that there's an island west of us that's dominating the local businesses and eating up all that sales tax revenue. Per average, I did the table napkin math today. Your average dispensary pulling in $500K directly to the city of Sacramento. That's almost Costco level. So I think we're leaving money on the table, but let's at least talk about it. And if you guys got reasoned opinions to the contrary, then I'd love to hear them.
Do we have a second?
I'm down to educate him. He hasn't been taught why that we dodged that bullet, so he needs to know. So let's have a meeting and talk about it in public.
Or we could do so offline, one-on-one.
I'm down.
Do we have a third?
There's no third, but
Do you need a third?
Yeah, generally, we'd like a third to put things on the agenda. Yep.
you're so silly.
Be a great way to redevelop one property on Folsom Boulevard because people would be fighting over that permit. And we could make them do whatever we want because we're only going to grant 2 of them rather than Sac City that has 40 permits.
You know, with so many graduations coming up, there's so much we see about kids and what they have access to. I personally have no intention of bringing anything closer to the kids in my city, even if it would bring revenue. So that's just my stance. But if any other colleagues
Well,
are.
they don't get it from the legal places. They get it from the black market, and we would be, at least for adults, eliminating that black market. But kids don't get it from that. They get the dangerous stuff. It's apples and oranges. They're not
The
going
adult
in.
and the adult can, well, okay. Do we have a third? Okay. Speaking of money on the table, council member salaries, is that something we want to bring up again? Given the amount. I get career politician or, we have 2 new council members that will be coming in. Is that a topic that we want to bring up?
I'm happy to talk about that one.
Okay, so 1. Anybody else?
Sorry, I didn't hear what.
So our current salary is $480 here at council compared to 2,000, 3,000, 100,000 for our peer cities. So I was wondering if you guys want to bring up 480 is what we have. And for the new council members, this will not impact our salary, but it'll impact the new council members that will be coming in. So is there anybody that wants to bring that up again? So I have Linda. Anybody else?
My understanding is we can't raise it to a level where it even matter.
You can raise it above 480 up to, I think, 1,900 per month.
Yeah, that's about right.
Not good PR. I'd rather save the money and not have to deal with that social media hellstorm.
Fair point.
Better for me to not deal with it.
Joe wants to raise everyone's salary.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, you didn't vote for my weed thing.
It does not, remember, this does not impact our salary. It's for the 2 new council members that come in. So, okay. Okay, thanks. That answers that question. And we move on to adjourn to closed session. So it has been requested by staff that tonight's closed session item will be removed from tonight's agenda.
Oh.
So is there any public comment on this closed session agenda item?
Maybe you're removing it.
But we still have to check with public comment because there may be people who are here.
I do not have any speaker cards for this item.
Okay.
I forget the person's name.
Yes, so we adjourn.
Madam Mayor, it's too early to go home. I don't know.
We do need a,
Mayor,
Here's bite your tongue.
Mayor
Bite
Pulapati,
your
we do
tongue.
need a motion and to remove this from the agenda.
So moved.
That's not fair. You were. Second.
Okay, roll call. Councilmember Budge,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gatewood,
Yep.
Councilmember Sander,
Yeah.
Councilmember Little,
No.
Mayor Pulapati.
Yes.
Doug Elmore.
Yes, I wanted to say, I'm going to talk to Adam every time I come into council meeting because I told him I would like to step out today when the sun is still out, and he made it happen. So I am going to, that's going to be my,
Kudos to Adam.
that's what I'm going to do. And we adjourn today's meeting in honor of Doug Elmore.
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 Thank you, Siri.
Thank you.